What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Terminator Dark Fate out in theaters, been out for a while. I was not going to go watch this movie. I stopped watching the franchise. Terminator 3 I really hated. And then I think maybe I watched a couple of the next ones and it was just like but this one was regarded as the third best, specifically 1 and 2 being the kind of the best of the franchise, the first Terminator, and then, of course, Terminator 2. And then this one even actually takes place after Terminator 2. I think it just eliminates all of the other shitty sequels that came from the Terminator franchise, and it's just like a kind of a reboot, kind of a side boot kind of a thing, which I liked. It brought back Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. I thought it was, and it's very much like a Force Awakens kind of a reboot where it has a lot of the same beats as Terminator 2 in a lot of ways, but it's, new characters, new Terminators. So this movie basically, so it takes place after 2, so Linda Hamilton or Sarah Connor was able to stop the apocalypse from happening. She stopped Armageddon. She saved billions of people. But then this movie, which also features by far the best de-aging CGI technology that they've ever used, because there's a scene where Sarah Connor and then her son and Arnold, they all look like this scene was filmed back in the 80s or early 90s, but it was all CG, and it was so crazy to see a young Arnold Schwarzenegger, like clearly CG, but like so good, like compared to like Gemini Man which was basically a tech demo more than it was a movie. Like that tech demo just got put to shame by a Terminator sequel. But yeah, so it's Terminators are still being sent back into time, even though that timeline is no longer in existence, because the war never happened or whatever. Skynet never was able to evolve because it got blown up in the second movie. But Terminators, when they sent the Terminators back to kill John Connor, they sent a ton of Arnold Schwarzenegger model Terminators. Was it T1, T700, T800? I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I'm not that into the franchise. So like randomly, Terminators are still showing up. Like these robotic Arnold Schwarzeneggers are still showing up. And Linda Hamilton's character is going to try and hunt these other Terminators down. And while on the hunt, she finds the kind of new Terminator, played by Mackenzie Davis, and she's trying to save the new Sarah Connor, or is it John Connor? Are they switching it up? I mean, it's definitely the franchise is doing what most franchises are doing and making them more diverse, flipping the male protagonist, now it's female protagonist, which I'm fine with as long as it's done right, and this is done right. I think it's done right anyway. So now that timeline's no longer a thing, there's this new timeline where, technology has still advanced. It just delayed the inevitable. And now there are augmented people instead of just full Terminators. And then the Terminators kind of existed differently, where they're almost a blend of the two Terminators from the original movies, which is kind of interesting because they can separate, like the outer kind of T1000, liquid metal version can separate from the mechanical skeleton, and then they kind of can operate independently of each other. I think maybe they have less power when they're independent of each other, but they can also merge back together. So there's a lot of fun. I mean, this movie starts off like with a shot. It is just action from start one. It is just action, 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 which I enjoyed. I enjoyed so much. I was like, this movie is so much fun. The trailer spoils moments that would have hit way better in actually watching the movie, like seeing Linda Hamilton's character, the reveal of that. She uses a "I'll be back" line, which is all ruined and spoiled in the trailer, but still fun to see. Badass action, badass action. Then it slows down a little bit where they're kind of giving the story and laying the new groundwork, letting you know that, despite you kind of thwarting the inevitable back then, you just delayed it, and we're back in this situation again. And it's just the story of it's fun. They find one of these Terminators, the one that killed John Connor. So as these Terminators were kind of just spitfired to different times and places, eventually one of the Terminators did find John Connor and kill him. Despite that mission not even needing to be fulfilled because, Skynet no longer exists in this world. So it's kind of a weird blending of timeline. It's fun. I really enjoyed it. The action set pieces were fun. I think Mackenzie Davis plays an amazing, she's like a hybrid, basically, like a RoboCop type of half machine, half person. The writing isn't the greatest as far as like dialogue. Like she has a weakness, Mackenzie does, as this new hybrid, where she's only really designed for big bursts of performance, and then she crashes, and then they're basically need an energy shot that requires just blindly going to a pharmacy and stealing a bunch of medication and then just randomly mixing it together in what just happens to be the perfect elixir for her to like get her energy boost shot. Which that's whatever. That's just like very lazy, but it works for the movie. Like it's very much played like a video game. It's like, here you need, like, you're about to die, you're out of energy, you need this shot to get back and going, which is fine. It works for the movie. But the fight scenes were really good. I really enjoyed the fight scenes. For the most part, it's mostly really great CG work, except for a couple moments of rubber people. Like anytime people have to like jump or kind of manipulate their bodies in the air, it just looks fake. It's rubber people all day. Like what most of Gemini Man was, which is mostly rubber people fighting. That was like a good version of rubber people. Like it's, they don't look as bad as, the Matrix sequels. But yeah, that's other than those like rubber people moments, everything else was really fun and really well done. Surprisingly, it makes me want to go. I don't think I've ever watched the first Terminator in completion, but it was described to me recently as the first Terminator is more of a horror film, and then the second Terminator is like a big action. When James Cameron took over and did the second film, maybe he did the first film too. I don't remember, but it reminded me actually a lot of Alien. How Alien is very much a horror film, very simple, like horror suspense movie. And then when James Cameron did Aliens, he turned it into like a big action movie, which is fine. It worked. It was a fun action movie, but it completely changed the genre of the franchise from kind of this simple horror suspense type of a movie into a big, big action kind of a thing. So it's interesting. I liked it. We'll see what happens. I heard it did horrible in theaters, but because it was, reviewed so well, I had to go see it, So I went and saw it. And I wasn't disappointed. As far as a fun action movie, you can't, if you like the first two, if you like Terminator 2, you'll like this one. And I hated Terminator 3. Hated it. It was so bad. So bad. Anyway, that's it. Dark Fate out of the way. Terminator. I will not be back. Go see it. It's a fun one. New episodes of the Ray Taylor Show come out every day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out.